Good evening. What may I get started for you?
I'm thinking about getting the approval of others. Should I?
Oh, definitely.
I'll have that.
Excellent choice. It comes with 2,000 Facebook likes. And for you, madam?
Well, I will also have the approval of others, but on a bigger, much nicer plate than hers. Oh, can I get the likes and followers?
Of course. 2 popularity specials, 1 with comparison and 1 without. I'll get that started for you and also bring out a basket of selfie sticks.
Yes, please.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Really? Okay, good. Awesome. Yeah. We're like, woo, yeah. Hey, anybody here from Carl Junction today? How about that segue? Anybody here from Webb City? Hey, 39 years is a heck of a run, okay? Nothing to be, people thought I was dogging Webb. Heck no, 39 years. You got to throw a dog a bone every once in a while, right? It's okay. Carl, well played. So I couldn't believe it. Joplin, come on, man. Ouch, it hurt. Anyway. What's that? Go Tigers, yeah. Hey, we're going to talk about Jesus today, Dusty, all right? We're so excited to start this new series. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to miss the movies. I loved At the Movies. I loved ending with Star Wars. It was good. But we're moving on. We're moving on, and we're excited about that. This is a fun series. It's got a new topic every week. I choose. And today, you've seen the topic. We're talking about choosing purpose over popularity. Purpose over popularity. And I know that there's a big temptation to want to be liked by people, to want to be accepted by the crowd. I get that. I know what that's like. But what does it mean to choose purpose over popularity? And in these next few weeks, next week we'll be talking about choosing surrender over control. Anybody in here have control issues? Yeah. You shouldn't, don't point at people. I see people that are going, and it's mostly men pointing at women, So anyways, but that's what we're going to be doing next week. The 1 week, discipline over regret. And then the last week, how to know if something's important over urgent. But it's going to be a great series. But today, here's what I want you to do. I want you to just for a moment to imagine with me, if you will. Just close your eyes for a second. We're just going to play a little game here. Close your eyes and imagine for a moment a world. Imagine a world, if you will, where everyone likes you. Imagine a world where everyone approves of you. Imagine a world, if you will, where everyone admires you. Can't you hear it? Chance, Mike, Dusty. Well, squash that because it cannot exist. It cannot exist. That is a farce. You cannot believe in. It's not possible. It will never happen. You cannot please everyone. And I am witness number 1 to that. I can tell you that. Man, if you're excited that it's sunny outside, someone's mad that it's not raining. I mean, it doesn't matter. Someone will always be down on you. Now, imagine this, if you will. Let's close your eyes again. Close your eyes again. Imagine a world where you don't care that much what other people think. Imagine a world where you're so focused on pleasing God alone, you're so pumped up about his passion, his purpose in your life, that people's approval no longer consumes you. That's a world we can live in. That's a world that can exist. That's a world that can really happen. That's a world where real happiness, where real freedom can exist. So that's the world we're going to talk about today, because one of the biggest choices that we can make in our life, one of the biggest choices that we can make is this, is purpose over popularity. I want everyone to say this with me. Say this with me. Purpose over popularity. Purpose over popularity. Now, there are women that are looking at their husbands right now saying, I married you because you served a purpose, not because you were the popular choice. That's kind of Julie and I. I served a purpose. She said, you're strong. Good back. You weren't the popular choice. So, anyways, many of us, though, by default, human nature, we choose the opposite. We choose the opposite of purpose. We want to go with popularity. And here's something that happens in our life. Sometimes we do things in a manner that we use things in a manner they shouldn't be used. You ever know somebody that uses something the way it shouldn't be used? Let's take I got a little illustration here of something. You might remember this commercial.
Instead of mailing everyone my vacation photos, I'm saving a ton of time by posting them to my wall.
Ooh, I like that one.
It's so quick. It's just like my car insurance. I save 15% in just 15 minutes.
I saved more than that in half the time.
I'd unfriend you.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
That's Julie's dad. That would be Julie's dad right there. But anyways, sometimes we don't know the purpose of a thing. We don't know the purpose, so we misuse it. We misuse a thing, and the problem for so many of us is this. So many of us don't know the purpose of a thing, and so in order to figure out the purpose of the thing, we ask the thing rather than the creator of the thing. We ask the thing. That's men. We will not look at directions. We will not look at directions. We open up electronics and we'll press every button on the remote. We will do anything, and women will walk in and be like, "Isn't that thing hooked up yet?" We'll be like, "Woman, go get my super suit. I'm hooking this up." They're like, "Well, why don't you call the help number?" There's no such thing as a helpline, women. That's for quitters. But instead of asking the creator of the thing, we ask the thing. And we do this all the time. We do this in our lives. We do this with people. We try to seek the approval of people. What do you think of me? Did you see my updates? Did you like my Facebook post? Did you like my Instagram? Did you see my Snapchat? Did you save it? Did you screenshot what I put out there? We want the approval of people. We want the approval of people. We'll do the dumbest things for people. We're asking for approval from the thing rather than the creator of the thing. We look for approval from people rather than the creator of people. We have to ask the creator for approval. So right here, we are living for the approval of people. And when we do that, it keeps you from the purposes of God. Living for the approval of people keeps you from the purposes of God. And a lot of us in our life, we're talking about, we're still trying to figure out what our purpose is. And I get that. I've struggled with that in my life, trying to figure out, God, what is my purpose? And there's a lot of people in here today, you've gone to church maybe your whole life, and you haven't figured out what your purpose is. Maybe you're just getting into church, and you're just figuring out this Jesus thing, and you haven't figured out yet what your purpose is. What is your purpose? Well, here's the thing. It starts with this. We are consumed with people. And when we're consumed with people, it's difficult for us to be focused on our purpose. Let's look at this guy, Moses. Moses is a great example for us to look at today. Moses was a Hebrew slave. He was raised by Egyptian royalty. So he started off at the bottom and he was moving right on up to the top. He was the first case of the Jeffersons right here. And so Moses, though, is different. He doesn't want the royalty. He doesn't want the easy life. He doesn't want that. And so instead of that, he chooses instead of comfort, he chooses his calling. Instead of popularity, he chooses purpose. Let's check this out right here in Hebrews 11:24. By faith, Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Verse 25, he chose to be mistreated along with the people of God rather than to enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin. He regarded disgrace for the sake of Christ as a greater value than the treasures of Egypt, because he was looking ahead to his reward. And so for us right here, we can see the power of purpose. Moses saw something that was out there for him. There was a reward that waited for him, and he wasn't about to trade that reward for the temporary pleasures of the sins of Egypt. And how often do we get caught up, last week we sold the droid, how often do we get caught up giving up our purpose for something temporary? How often do we get caught up selling ourselves short when God has greatness for us? We settle for something good today instead of something great for eternity. And that's exactly what we're talking about right here. So here's what I want us to talk about right now. We have this purpose in our life that has a capital P on it out there. But right now I want us to focus on a lowercase p. What's your purpose in the moment? What's your purpose right now? So often we get so focused and consumed with, God, what do you have for me, that we stall. We stall. God, I'm just in a holding pattern until you tell me where I'm supposed to be. And we forget about what we should be doing in the moment right now. You ever know anybody that trained for a marathon? You know what they could not do day one? Run a marathon. Like me, I'm training for a marathon right now. I can't run the marathon, but it's up here. That was supposed to be funny. But no. But my point is this, is there was a little P. The big purpose was training for the marathon. But what do you do in the moment right now? You start. I can't tell you how to train for a marathon. We could talk to Miss Isaacs over here. But for me, I can't tell you how to train for a marathon, but you have to focus on a little P first. I do coach softball. And we can't go out there day one focusing how to win a game, because all these girls come out there, guess what they cannot do day one? Throw a ball, catch a ball. The big P is winning a game, but what I have to do is focus on the little P first, the little purposes, teaching them how to throw, how to hold a ball, how to catch a ball, how to run to first base, how to touch first base, how to round first base, how to watch for a sign, how to watch for a signal, the chants are really important, how to cheer and properly agitate the other team. But here's the thing. We have to be trusted with the little P's in our life, which in turn lead to trust in the big P, our big purpose. Because here's the thing that happens. Purpose. When we have a purpose in our life, it diminishes distractions. When we have a purpose in our life, it's amazing how little distractions mess with us. If you've ever been a part of a great team or been a part of something great, you know the purpose every day. And when you are focused on the purpose, the little sins of every day, the little problems, the little things that bug other people, they don't bug you. They don't distract you because you know you're part of something greater than yourself. You know, this is one of those times I would use championship football teams. Alabama, Mike. Denver Broncos. Not the Kansas City Chiefs. St. Louis Cardinals. Kansas City Royals. But when you're a part of whatever. But when you're a part of a great team and there's something greater than your cause, than your purpose, they know that the purpose, there are other people depending on them. They know that a big P, a big purpose depends on your participation. There is something greater than yourself. Distractions, they're not a problem when you're bought in and you understand the purpose. When you're trusted with the little P's, you can be trusted with the big P's. And one of the biggest distractions for most of us is the curse of comparing ourselves to others. We get distracted from our purpose when we look at other people. Man, we can do this with our finances. We can do this with our vehicles. We can do this with our children. We can do this with our jobs. We can do this with our faith. We can do this with our churches. We can do this, just everything. We are so good as human beings at comparing ourselves to everybody else. And there's this monster called Facebook that allows us to put the best of our life, the all-star squad, out there. We don't put the crud out. Well, some people are really good at putting the crud out there. Delete those people. But we do. We get caught comparing our lives with the greatness that everybody else puts out there. Everybody puts out their shining, greatest moments. And then you look at your life and you go, man, we gotta get it together. Do you see the pictures that this family took? All of their children are smiling. Their clothes are ironed. They fit. We got to figure out how they did this. Look at where they went today. Look at this vacation. Look at the planning. Look how good she is at Pinterest. Look at the workouts they're doing. Look at the things that their family's accomplishing. And we get caught comparing ourselves. And then we'll look down the aisles. Oh man, look at that. Look at the notes. Look at the Bible. Look at the prayer life. Look at how happy their family. We just compare. What's God got for you? What's your purpose in the moment that you're in right now? Because there's nothing that has to do with you that has to do with the people sitting next to you. You know, it's tough to sit next to Kim. Julie sits next to Kim every week, and she compares herself. No, I'm kidding. But one of the biggest distractions for most of us is the curse of comparing. We'll look at people and go, oh my gosh, we're starting school. They're already finished with school. He's making more money than I am. All my friends are married already. I don't even own a house. I'm way behind. And purpose diminishes distractions. I love Nehemiah. Everybody say Nehemiah. Nehemiah was doing a great work. I love the story of Nehemiah. Nehemiah is a guy that looked around and there was something to be done. He said, well, why don't I do it? If somebody should do it, it might as well be me. And he saw a purpose. Maybe there's a greater purpose, but he saw in the moment right now, there's work to be done. And right now, if you look at yourself and you find yourself upset about something, you might just find purpose. I love that. Like if you come complain to me about children's ministry, guess where I'm going to put you serving? In children's ministry, because you found your passion. If you complain to me that the bathrooms aren't clean enough, I'm going to let you talk to Missy, okay? And she's going to say, come join the cleaning team because we found your purpose. If you complain about something at your children's school, be part of the PTO because we found your purpose. Go be part of something. You find your purpose, something that you're passionate about. Somebody needs to do something about this, well, it might as well just be you. We can't pawn it off on somebody else. I say this all the time. Well, that's why God has put you here. It's been brought to your attention. That's why God has put you in a specific certain point in your life right now, in your neighborhood, in your school, in your church, in your job. What is it right now that is screaming to you that needs attention that you're waiting for someone else to do that you could be doing? Nehemiah, he rallies the people in his time to do something great. And there were enemies that were working against God's plan. Sanballat and Tobiah, they tell him that they're going to crush his people and they're going to crush his purpose. But I love Nehemiah's response to him. Nehemiah looks down at him and basically says, you know what? Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that because I'm doing something good. And it's amazing that when we get caught doing something good, there's always naysayers. There's always naysayers that would look at us and say, why are you doing that? Nobody cares. Why are you doing that? Someone's just going to come along and destroy it. Why are you doing that? There's always going to be those naysayers. And what we need to do, our response needs to be, I'm doing a great work. I can't come down. I can remember for us, for Julie and I, when we started to think about planting a church, we faced distractions. We faced distractions from the beginning, from people. No one wanted to give money. That was a big distraction. Money was it's awesome. You can talk to people about a church. You're like, oh man, we're thinking about planting this church. And people will be like, yes, that's exciting. What can I do for you? It's like, well, you can pray for us. And they're like, yes. You can help us. You can serve with us. Yes. We need $1,000. I'm out. Distractions. And if we would have believed those things, we would have believed and paid attention to distractions, we would have been missing our purpose. And sometimes, even in the church, it feels like we've got little purposes to accomplish our big purpose. That was us. Man, when we started in our house, that was a little p. It was a big P at the time, but it was a little p. Just love on the people that are there. Just love on the people that are there. Just keep doing what God wants you to do. Somebody needs to do something about it. It might as well be me. People ask, why would you start a church? One of my best friends, he was an OCC graduate. Everybody else was like all excited, and he was the one that spoke truth. And he goes, why would you start a church? Joplin doesn't need another church. I was like, well, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I don't want to talk. No. I had to prove to him. He said, prove to me that Joplin needs another church. So we started debating about that. There's still a lot of lost people in Joplin. Still a lot of lost people in this region. Still a lot of lost people. There were people that scoffed and they laughed when I told them we were planning a church and like, where are you doing it? And I said, at our house. Your house? Yeah, we can't afford a building. Like God will ever bless that. There were distractions. People that laughed, that would scoff. Like God will ever bless that. And I can remember when we were so excited to go to the Y. And I remember one day I was in the Y and I met a guy there and was telling about it. He's like, oh, you're going to do a church? And he knew that he knew I was a pastor. And he said, where are you going to do it? And I said, right here. He said, that'll never work. That'll never work. God blessed it. And we went to the school. People laughed about that. My wife was the biggest one that laughed about us meeting at a school. She works at the schools, and Julie goes, oh, they'll never let you do that. She was the naysayer that day. And then I called Mike. And Mike's like, sure they will. Just call them. Here's how you do it. And then I came home, and I said, hey, distraction. We figured it out without your help. Because here's the problem. We weren't big. We didn't have money. We didn't have a building. We were a lowercase p. We were a lowercase p. It's a small purpose. But it was cool because in the moment, all I had time to do was say, we're doing a good work. We're doing a good work. We're doing a good work. Say what you want. We're doing a good work. Purpose diminishes distractions. And it was amazing. We looked at that time. I didn't have money. God gave me a custodian job. I'd never been a custodian before. I've now can say I've been a custodian. But it was the biggest blessing. God opened doors because of that custodian job. He allowed it to happen because of that custodian job. He gave me a purpose. I didn't sit at home every day and say, poor, poor, pitiful me, no one loves me. God gave me a purpose, and it diminished distractions. And he put me right where I needed to be. The pathway to your purpose is paved with pain. The pathway to your purpose is paved with pain, because here's what purpose does. Purpose pushes you through the pain. Purpose pushes you through the pain. Do we have any women in the house today? Do we have any women in the house that have ever had a baby? Is there pain involved with having a baby? Uh-huh. Men, shut up, say nothing right now. Rub her back and love her. Isn't it amazing, ladies, what purpose will do? To have a child, you got to count the cost of having a child. I'm just going to talk about what I've heard, not what I've experienced, because I don't even want to go there, okay? But let's think about this for just a moment. The pain. Do we have any of those annoying women that like to be pregnant in the room today? Chance, you raised your hand? No? Okay. You know, there's some of those weird women, they're like, oh, I love being pregnant. And then the rest of the women are like, shut up. Any women here that did not enjoy being pregnant? Yes. There's something beautiful about it. You know, the baby, the child, it's beautiful. I get all that. But there was nothing beautiful. I'm going to back up. I know what's up here, but it's not going to come out right. I love you, Julie. There was nothing beautiful about watching the suffering, is what I wanted to say, when you can do nothing about it. Because I can remember my wife I just want to breathe again. I just want to lay on my stomach. I just want to be able to eat. I just want a glass of wine. Just whatever. Just all these things during pregnancy that you can't do and you suffer through. She wanted to wear jeans, like her jeans again. Amen. But going through all those things, and then let's not even talk about the delivery. Giddy up. No one prepared me for that. There needs to be a class for men. Men, if you are having a child, come talk to the men that have had kids and we'll tell you how it really goes down. Woo! But my point in this is purpose pushes you through pain. Isn't it amazing what we will go through when we know what the purpose is? Because there will be women that have children and then they'll do it again. And then they'll do it again. And then they'll do it again. The McCains aren't here anymore, so. That's going to be the Drakes, that's right. But it is, man. Some of those women, I'm just like, slow clap, slow clap. Anyway, the pathway to your purpose is paved with pain. Moses, David, Nehemiah, Esther, Mary, Jesus, pain. All went through pain for a purpose. Look what Mary experienced. Her son was murdered, for crying out loud, for a purpose. What about Jesus? Jesus is the son of the creator of the universe. We are created in his image. Comes down and experiences the pain of death on a cross, feeling human pain. Jesus wasn't so supernatural that he said, you know what, I'm going to go down there, I'm going to act like it hurts. He says, no, I'm going to go and experience it. I'm going to really experience the pain of the cross for the purpose of eternity, for the purpose of love. Doing what God calls you to do. Others won't like it. Many won't understand. But purpose pushes you through pain. In my life, I can tell you, like right now, this is how it's been. I'm scared when we don't experience resistance in my life. I don't like it to be easy. When we go through easy seasons, it feels like, okay, God, what am I doing wrong? You ever notice that? When like something really great happens, you can almost look at that and say, okay, where is struggle going to come in? Where's the sacrifice going to have to take place? What do I have to give up for something great? So we're moving into this new building. Satan loves to try and pick up his reary head. And I'm like, you know what? Got no chains on me. Consider it pure joy, my friends. I'm ready for it. Because here's the thing, my reward is in heaven and not in the approval of men. Our reward is in heaven and not the approval of men. Our reward is in heaven and not the approval of men. There are many women out there that had a baby. I'll say it's not that bad. Then you think about a watermelon going through a garden hose and you realize that there's an amazing amount of pain. Women go through torture for their baby, but they don't mind the sacrifice for the purpose, and pain is okay for the purpose. How do you handle critics in your life? How do you handle the critics in your life? Do you go to Facebook and say, not today? I like the people that will get in someone's face and really tell them how it is. Beverly Davis. I'm with you. I mean, God said turn the other cheek, but, that's the one Beverly says. How many knows I'm telling the truth? No. I love having a small church because you can do, if it's your first day with us, welcome to One Church. It's fun, it's good. I love that woman, I do. I don't even know where I was at. How do you handle the critics? So many people don't like you. Nothing is easy, but purpose pushes you through. We start and it gets hard. It gets hard, but purpose pushes us on. Critics can't stop you. Obstacles can't deter you. Pain won't slow you down. You get up earlier. You work harder. You stay alert later. When the finances get tough, I love hearing some of these men like, I got to find another job. I got to do something because I have to raise my family. I have to support my family. When the time gets tough, what do? Hey, get some men together. Let's pray over your life. You dig in. You grab in. You stick. You plant those stakes deeper. You don't give up. You don't run. Because here's the truth. When we can't, Christ can. When we can't, Christ can. When we won't, Christ will. Purpose pushes you through the pain. Something else purpose does, purpose empowers you to please God. Purpose in our life empowers you to please God, and we have to choose purpose. When Pharaoh tried to stop Moses, Moses wasn't deterred. When the people complained and they criticized and they rebelled, Moses stayed on task. Purpose empowers you to please God throughout anything. In your relationship, how many of you young people are actually trying to have a relationship with morals, with value? But it's very difficult in this day and age to find someone that shares the exact same values that you do. Purpose pushes you to please God. It empowers you to please God. If you want to please God through your relationship, if you want to please God through your finances, if you want to please God through your work, through your job, through your family, purpose will do that. And it empowers you to do that. Peter and other apostles preached Christ. The religious leaders told them to stop. They threatened them with their lives, but it was amazing what purpose will do. Acts 5:29. Peter and the other apostles replied. They said, we must obey God rather than human beings, even to death. Even to death. We have to please God. We can't please everyone, but we can please God. We have a choice in our life. And you can look at your life and you can say where you are today is the culmination of the choices that you've made. My dad, if he did ever say something good to me, it was this. He said, I have no problem, Shane, if you want to flip burgers for the rest of your life, as long as it's what you choose to do. If it's your choice and you're not stuck with doing that because you didn't put in the work, put in the effort and the time. It says if it's your choice. Because it says you can look at anybody today and where they are as a result of the choices that you've made in your life. You know as much about God as you choose to know. Your relationship with God is dependent upon no one else but you. Not your wife, not your husband, not your children, not your job, not your busy schedule, nothing else but you. It's a choice, and where you are in your life is a result of the choices that you've made. Hebrews 11:26, looking at Moses. Moses regarded disgrace for the sake of Christ as of greater value than the treasures of Egypt because he was looking ahead to his reward. Because here's the truth. There's value in being liked by people. There's a value in that. There's nothing wrong with being liked by people. I love to have friends. There's value in that, but there's a greater value in being loved by God. There's a value in having fun with your friends, but there's a greater value in being faithful to God. There's a value in starting something important, but there's a greater value in finishing. There's value in comfort, but there's greater value in calling. And sometimes calling doesn't equal comfort. There's a value in being popular, but there's a greater value in serving God's purpose, being faithful in the moment. When we're faithful in the moment, doesn't mean we can always please everybody. So as we end today, as we close up today, we have to make the choice to choose purpose over popularity. There's power in our purpose. When we have purpose, it eliminates distractions. When we have purpose, it allows us to push through pain. And when we have purpose, it empowers us to please God. And we cannot please everyone, but we can please God. Let's pray.